Welcome back to another episode of the Platinum Code Podcast. If you don't know who we are by this time, how the fuck are you on episode 4? But for many people that are for some reason new, I'm Adam, aka Adam Platinum, for the people on Twitch or anybody that, subscribes to my YouTube, follows me on Twitter, etc.
I'm still just Frank. I don't have anything to plug.
Exactly. So Frank, it's been a second since we've done a podcast. We took a little 2-week break. Lots of shit went down, but ultimately
Yep.
the games have been getting juicy. All right, there have been a lot of different things that have happened in terms of like gaming content and all these types of issues that have been happening. And I kind of want to talk about that to start off the podcast because I feel like it's been more recent in the last few years that there is a huge disconnect between gaming developers and the fans that play those games. Why do you think that there's such a disconnect?
Honestly, I don't really have an answer for that. And like every time I think about like devs for video games, I always think about Dead by Daylight. For I don't know what reason, I just do. Probably because they never listen. Actually,
Well,
that's why.
that was the thing I wanted to like touch up on because I feel like it's just a bunch of shit they never listen to. It's never just something simple where like, "Oh, let's just fix this." It's like we have to as fans bitch and moan and like claw for these developers to make some sort of change, and then they make the change and it's not even really worth it. Like Dead by Daylight basically was what, unplayable for survivors or survival with friends because of how
Yeah,
insane killers were.
yeah. That big update was horrible. I actually didn't play until it was fixed.
So you have a lot better insight on Dead by Daylight. So what did they ultimately do in the update that just like made it so horrible?
I think the biggest thing with that update, and I don't know, because someone's gonna be like, "Oh, Frank, you clearly didn't read the patch notes, you
Yeah.
fucking nerd." But I didn't read the patch notes. I don't have time for that.
Oh, no one does.
All I know is when I was playing Survivor, like the killers just seemed so OP. I don't know what happened. Like typically, I could loop, I could do
Right.
whatever I needed. I could do nothing. I was dying within seconds per every game.
I was gonna say, I feel like when like before the update happened, you could at least loop a little bit, and even like the first few days of that new update, I felt like I could like at least compete.
Yeah.
But after that, I was just like, I'm not even able to survive more than a minute or 2 minutes, especially like trying to loop some of these like even like high tier like rank 18 killers. There's like beating my ass, and like I'm not the greatest at the game, but it's just like I couldn't
You
even
should still have a
survive.
chance.
Yeah, like I didn't
Yeah.
have a chance. So I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of it anyway. Like the big thing that I'm really thinking of is Warzone. I feel like Warzone as of late has had super big issues between developers and fans of Warzone because
You'll have to fill me in because I haven't played Warzone since its drop.
well, since pretty much like the whole year, a big issue that, a lot of people have is like there's no real consistent meta. Guns are always changing. A lot of that stems from like TikTok culture though. TikTok culture kind of like forces certain like shit weapons to be spewed into circulation because people are like, "Oh, this gun got silent nerfed," or "Oh, this gun got silent buff," which like in layman's terms, that's not real. They're just doing that because they don't have real content to make. So they're just like, oh, this class actually fucking shreds. Let's just see if we can get some more views out of it. But it's like, there's no clear cut meta. So people are like getting angry. And then when there is a clear cut meta, aka DMR zone, the DMR like single handedly close the skill gap between average player and pretty solid, like long time player of Warzone. So they get mad at like the devs when they have a set meta, and then after that it's just like basic cheating. Like everyone's hacking, people are using routers on tournaments that will allow them to be put in lobbies with pretty much shit demographics, like people that play on potatoes and all that shit. And there's like no anti-cheat system, so everyone's like just spewing their hatred for Warzone, but Activision doesn't do a single thing. So it's like, where does that line like come between developers and the fans? Like, where is this disconnect happening? Is it just the fact that Activision is making so much money, or is it the fact that like they think the direction of the game will cause like an influx of people to either stay or leave. It's weird to me because so many people, especially now, they're like, we need an anti-cheat more than ever. Like it's so needed. Hackers are here left and right. People are using Wi-Fi's to their advantage to cheat basically, and it's like, why do we have to play this shit?
I almost want to, like, I want to say it's a money thing, but at that point, I feel like it's not. Like, why would you make your game worse to make more money? Like, that doesn't make sense, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, the thing to me is like, how can so many people play the game knowing it's that broken and it's that shit and just still eat it up every single day? They know
I
it's
think
garbage.
I think there's just nothing else to play. I was just
That
talking to Justy about it.
yes.
Like, there's nothing to play right now. I just had a stream, um, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 days ago. I played 3 games within an hour and a half.
Yeah, I remember you doing that because honestly, you were playing Apex and I don't know if you were getting just demolished or something, but you were like, all
I
right,
had bad teammates.
just bad teammates. Okay. I mean, when you solo queue, that tends to happen a lot. But then
Yeah.
you switch to what after that? Dead by Daylight, and you're like, I'm just not fucking feeling this game.
Yeah, I played 1 game.
And then you finished off with Rainbow.
Yep, played 1 game.
Yeah, it's just like I do see that where there's really nothing out there. But I also feel like that's like a streaming and content culture issue too. Because when I'm playing off stream and I'm playing for like a certain objective, whether it's like grinding dark matter on Cold War multiplayer, like trying to get back into Blackout with solos or like Black Ops 4 in general, I just feel like I'm enjoying the game and I don't really care what's out there. Like in that moment, I'm able to enjoy those games as opposed to, oh, I got to click the live button. What am I going to play today?
That's the issue too. Like, and I'm on the opposite spectrum almost, where like I don't care if I have viewers or not, but
Right.
like I'm literally not having fun playing said games.
Yeah, it's like it just doesn't make sense to me where this huge disconnect comes from. And like we eat it up, even though we think that there's nothing to play. I seriously think there's a lot of shit we could play, but we just choose not to. I feel like people are so accustomed to a specific game that they are so brand loyal that it could literally just be like Call of Duty dog shit. And the whole game is just a dog taking a shit and people
Might
will
be the
still
best one.
yeah, some people will still play it because they have just been COD freaks for the last 12 years. They're not going to switch up now. They
Well,
hang on to Modern Warfare 2 nostalgia and
yeah,
that's
that's
it.
just loyalty and, advertising. Like I typically only wear Nike shit, and that's because I've only ever worn Nike. Like
Yeah.
Nike could be like, all right, we're coming out with a shoe, but here's the twist. No laces. And I'd be like, you know what? I'll give it a fucking shot.
Yeah, it's been really weird for me to figure that out because like a lot of the time I'll hop on Warzone and I'll play like maybe one to three drops of like fills and I'm just like I'm pointing out the negative right away where I'm like these guys like I haven't really seen a hacker in a while, but when I do encounter one I'm like this dude's a fucking like shitbag. He's cheating so much. I hate that it takes $10,000 to get a custom loadout for your classes and I'm dying off the rip and it's just like I'm always pointing out the negative and I feel like as of late video games have come to that where you as a consumer as a player are just always trying to find the negatives of a video game as opposed to finding the positives too.
Do you think that's like a do you think it's I think it's like a half and half thing. Like I think it's video games, but I also think it's people I don't want to get controversial, but everyone's kind of soft now,
Yeah,
if that makes
no,
sense.
I think I agree with that too because ever since that fucking I always say it, it's that video where Ninja talks to the news about making $500,000 a month off of video games. As soon as that video came out on YouTube, I feel like the whole world was like shook. The whole world changed after that video.
Ninja, in my opinion, is a very bad example of how you should act.
It's just like and I mean, I don't even have an
The
issue with
dude's
that.
he's a man child.
I mean, that's what happens when you're a streamer. But like, my thing is with those types of videos, when it's something so influential, like, oh, I make $500,000 a month, people just like, there's a light bulb that goes on in their brain, like, this actually works. No, let me give this a fucking shot. So then they keep playing. They try to become, this caliber of a player, an entertainer, etc. Because at the end of the day, whether you guys like them or not, those people are entertainers or they're professionals or
Yeah.
they're just something to influence a viewer or a consumer to either buy the game, download it, make purchases, etc. And you just have to learn from it. So like just seeing those people just flip after Ninja's video. That's just my personal time frame. I don't really I knew Noah J was making hella money off of Black Ops 3 back in the day. I'm like, this is not real. Like this has to be like a 1 in a million shot. And then as soon as Ninja posted that video, I'm like, all right, it's really not a 1 in a million shot. Like you can make a lot, but it is hard to get to that status, but you can still make money off of video games.
It's still so weird to me that that's like that it's a thing. I know it sounds dumb, but like I would have never thought like that would be such a popular profession down the line. I
Oh,
saw on Twitter today, it was like a bunch of kids in a classroom like voted on what they want to be when they grow up, and the
mhm.
top thing, I think it was like 33% of the class wants to be YouTubers.
And that I've been
You
hearing
would have
that a
gotten your
lot.
ass kicked if you said that like
Yes,
10 years ago. They'd be like,
exactly.
what do you want to be, you fucking nerd? You don't want to
Well,
be a police officer? Get out of my
yeah.
face.
No, no, no. That for me, I've always I found this guy when I was on YouTube. Well, he was a teenager when I was like 8 or 10. I forgot when I was on YouTube at the earliest. His name was Supermac18. He made like funny little skits and I enjoyed them. And I was like, you know what? This dude makes $2,000 a month. And I didn't know that you couldn't really I guess in this day and age live off of 2,000 a month, give or take, depending on who you are.
Yeah.
But I was like, $2,000 a month. I could fucking do that. Let's go do that. That'd be cool. That's fun. We can make people laugh. And for years, I was like, you know what? That's what I want to do. But if I ever said that to someone, they were like, oh, that's so stupid. Why would you even, you don't want to be a doctor? No, you're an
Well,
idiot.
yeah, that's the thing. Like, I obviously don't pursue it as like a full-time thing personally, but like, I just I lost my train of thought. Continue.
Well, it's just for me, I really enjoy it. I want to build a community. I don't really care if it's my full-time gig or if it's half-time, part-time, etc. I just want to build something that's bigger than me. And that's what makes me feel happy. Progressing to that point is what I want.
Have
So
you thought about, so you say you want to build something bigger than you. Have you thought about building an OnlyFans?
I told chat for 1,000 Twitch subs, I will make a feet pick OnlyFans. And it's not seductive feet pics. It's I just went on a 3-mile run. Here are my disgusting toes after the fact.
It
Because,
just,
yeah,
I
it's
don't,
gross.
people are going to be so mad that I said this, especially if like this somehow got on Twitter, but like, I don't like, people are like, yeah, I support OnlyFan creators. It's not that hard. They make a lot of money for something that's not that hard.
Depending on what they do though, it honestly, it is honestly almost like a forbidden fruit, I would say. Because you can either go on those websites for free or you can pay $5 to see the person you sat next to in math class do the exact same thing. It's weird. It's like a forbidden fruit. You want to see those things.
Yeah,
And
it's kind of like the curiosity kills you.
yeah, it's like, wait, so and so from algebra is doing this now? And it's like she's only offering $3 for a month? Maybe that person will be willing to do that. And in their head,
It's weird to me.
it's interesting for sure. They could think of it, oh, even though if I really don't enjoy their content, I'm just helping out someone I went to school with, even though that's more than 90% not the case.
You're a liar
Yeah,
if you say that.
you're a fucking liar. If you buy someone's package, you know what you're in there for. But I get where you're coming from, where basically they're not in a sense doing much, but some people actually put some time and effort into that type of content. And I feel like more so nowadays, those adult entertainers are starting to branch out into YouTube and stuff, and they're actually talking about it more and all that type of work that goes into it. So I have a newfound respect for it, just because we glorify and fancy streaming, YouTube, all that good stuff as a viable job.
Yeah.
And it's essentially, I would say, the closest thing to a male streaming or making content. And people are going to be like, there's no way being naked or whatever is not even close to playing video games. It's like, if it's something that that person enjoys, it's the exact same thing as me sitting on a video game for 12 hours, making some form of an income, whether it's a lot or nothing, like barely anything. You're still doing something you like, and they are doing something that they like.
I can respect you grinding for 4 hours though, as opposed to standing in your bathroom mirror taking a picture of your ass in 2 seconds.
That's the tough part. Like I truthfully have a respect for them because they are chasing their bag in a day and age where, especially during the COVID pandemic, where you
Oh,
can't do
I'm
shit.
envious as shit.
Yeah, you can't do shit. So why not start an OnlyFans, man? Like,
Those people make way more money than I do. I'm
oh,
jealous.
hand
I'm
over
just saying.
fist. Hand over fist, brother. Like, that's why I joke around with it in chat. It's like, who's gonna be that random like rich person that gifts 1,000 subs just to make me start a disgusting foot pick OnlyFans as a joke?
I
I'm
would
just
need
waiting.
I would need a pretty decent lump sum a month in order to do that.
I was gonna, like I told you before we started, man. Like, if you make an extra $15 and it's just taking pictures of your feet, and I'm going to tell you guys right now, I have the most disgusting feet you will ever see in your life. Maybe someday I'll show it, but not in stream. And well, it's terms of service. So
Oh,
yeah. So basically, like, it's disgusting feet. If I can make $20 off of just nasty pictures of my toes, like, who wouldn't? Like, you know what I
there's a
mean?
market for anything, man.
There really is. I'm calling it right now. Adam Platinum Sasquatch toes. Coming soon.
It's a hashtag.
See, I'm all about getting the bag though. If you can make $500 extra a month by going to Goodwill and flipping shit, I'm all for it.
I respect those people. That's a grind.
I watched way too many Gary Vee videos last year to not respect it now. Like, it's cool. It's definitely not, I would say, for everyone. I feel like if you went for it all the way, you could make it a viable like job.
Yeah.
But that stuff is so fucking tough, dude. I would post stuff on Mercari, and these are clothes, and like my clothes didn't sell for shit. And then my girlfriend posts clothes, and it's like stuff years down like the road, years like 2015, like long time ago, and she's selling it left and right.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. I think guys just don't give a shit about what they wear.
Yeah, well, but that's the thing too. You have
I'm
to
in a
find the
white
right
t-shirt
stuff.
right now.
Yeah, you have to find the right stuff. I'm wearing a Game of Thrones shirt right now, motherfucker.
Cooler than
Um,
my shirt.
but it's like I watched this guy on TikTok, and he basically shows people how he makes money reselling Nike gear, and I'm like, that's honestly an untapped market. I mean,
Yeah.
or like an unspoken one at least. If it's not untapped already, it's not spoken of. Like, cause he bought like a few pair of LeBrons discounted for like $90 and is gonna sell them for like at least 120. So I mean,
Oh yeah, shoes are nuts.
you sell 3 pairs of like LeBrons, whatever size, $30 above value. That one person who wants to be dripping at like size 16 is literally he's gonna pay for it. Cause
Yeah.
who's gonna have size 16s? I mean, now they're probably more like frequent. That's just an example size. But who's gonna have that insanely huge foot size shoe for a cheap price? No one's ever gonna have that.
No, there's only so many.
Right. So it makes so much sense to me. It makes the most sense to me what he's doing. It's just when you come down to it, like I don't want to take my ass to an outlet mall, especially during like
No.
right now, look through everything, like
It's a lot
scan
of
for
effort.
prices. It is a lot of effort, so I respect it. That's why I said I watch way too many Gary Vee videos to not respect that kind of grind. But that's something you can turn like $1,000 into $10,000 within a year if you really go for it.
I heard a high money amount, and I'm really gonna shift gears here, and you're gonna be like, I don't know where that came from.
Okay.
Can we talk about Legos for a minute?
What about Legos?
Oh man, I built 2 Lego sets in the last week, and let me tell you, my stress, it's not gone, but it's minimalized.
The thing that is interesting to me, because the way you say it, yes, I do. I really like Legos, but they are fucking expensive. And it just sucks ass because I have a bonsai tree in the back here with this little dog shrine that I have, and it costs $55. This thing is like, it's no more than, I don't know, like, I don't know how many like dimensions, but it's not nearly big enough to me to be 55 bucks. But it's a
Yeah.
bonsai tree. It's a cherry blossom Lego tree. So it costs 55 bucks. And that's like a part of their adult series, I feel like. So I'm
Yeah.
just so
And
like torn because Legos
Lily
are
had
cool.
gotten me the Slave One, and
Yeah.
I was like, just be honest, like, how much did you spend on that? Because I know it wasn't cheap. She's like, it was more than $200. I was like,
Shit.
Jesus Christ, why did you do that?
As soon as Legos become over 150, it better be the best fucking build ever. I cannot stand paying like 115 for Yoda, like a more, I would say,
Yeah.
life size Yoda. But it's like I saw Yoda at Target for like $100. I'm like, there's no way this is worth
Yeah, it's
the.
not right.
It's not
I was
worth the build.
actually I was just at Target and I was
Mm,
looking at some of the Lego sets and I looked at the back before I bought one. It was the snow speeder from Hoff.
yeah,
And I'm glad I looked because it looked like it was a fucking Mega Bloks like set. Like it was like $30
right.
and I would have had it done in seconds. Like I feel like they're very well, obviously Legos are for kids,
Hmm.
but it's like super catered now and I'm glad I looked cuz I would have been pissed off if I bought that and had it done in 10 minutes.
Well, one thing that I was really curious about, especially with those types of like building blocks and shit like that, there was a Mega Blocks, I believe, Master Chief, or no, Halo Energy Sword. Sorry for any Halo fans, but an energy sword from Halo, and it was like
That sounds
50
pretty cool.
bucks. And I'm just like, every time I'm going in the store, I'm like, damn, I want to get this, even though it might not be super like super cool or super big. I just want to fucking buy it because Halo is so. Oh, I miss it, man. I miss Halo.
Managing money is so hard when you get older.
That for me is still something I'm trying to get used to because I'm fortunate enough to be like at home still, but trying to figure out ways to budget for like dietary success and you know like gym bills and everything, like it helps, but it is freaky.
Yeah, it's weird because I just bought a bike recently and it was like $300 and it's like, I very much enjoy the bike, but I want to move out and the $300 definitely would have helped in that cause.
Yeah, I'm the exact same way because I really want to start getting more like stream upgrades, and I'm gonna anyway, but it's like I have this trip planned out and I have to start putting some money away towards if I don't go to school right away, paying on my student loans, and then, all that kind of stuff. And I owe Chloe a little bit of money. So it's just like I want to get upgrades so bad, but I owe so much. And it's not even like I need to pay it right away or like I can wait my whole life for student loans. You could die with
Yeah.
them.
It's almost like it sounds bad, but it's almost like you can't enjoy life
Yes, no, I
by
feel the
saving
exact
money.
same way. Yeah, I always feel like I'm at a debt, and I hate being at a debt to someone, man.
Yeah, like I get my paycheck and I put it right into my savings. It's like, well, it was fun to work for 2 weeks and not do anything with the money.
Yep, that it fucking sucks, man. It really does. Or in my case, where I'm still like working somewhat minimal, like for minimal pay, it's like, damn, I just did all of this work, and I still don't have a lot to enjoy myself with.
Yeah, it sucks. It's life isn't fair.
Life really isn't fair, but you just kind of have to work with it. I feel like a lot of the time in my life, especially the last 2 years, I've been, I'm not going to say the happiest, but at least within this last year, I've been the happiest with figuring out what truly makes me happy or what brings me the most productivity outside of like a professional working fashion.
You want to
So
trade? Because I don't have that figured out.
that's the issue though. Like if I had your position where you're working full time for, pretty solid money, I don't know how productive I would be on my content or my streaming. I hate that I say content because I really only pretty much stream. I posted a TikTok the other day. It got fucking pooped on pretty much by the Rocket League community, and I was like, you know what? I'm taking this off. I will not take such slander. But
Ooh,
It's
That makes
nuts.
me think of something. With like toxic people, and I don't know the full situation on this, but have you like followed like the David Dobrik stuff going on?
Yeah, that stuff is super it's very sensitive because I feel to some regard those creators feel like absolute shit for doing it, but I also don't think that they're as sorry as they try to portray themselves as.
No, and that's the thing. People are like, he's only making like an apology video because he lost sponsors and everything, and it sucks because if he like really is sorry,
Yeah.
people are never gonna see that because he's a millionaire.
Right, right. But like my thing is too, there's a lot of underlying shit. It's so insane to me how there are so many different underlying things with each creator and how different people can truly be when it comes to their platform and then their real life. Like there's so many
Oh,
different instances.
absolutely. That's why it's weird when like it's not weird, but like viewers form attachments with people who they watch on streams or YouTube, and it's
Yeah.
like you don't know them, right? Like
Yeah.
you know them when they're on Twitch. They're not the same outside.
Right. Like sim culture is real, but you do have to realize at the same time these types of things aren't like they're not new, I would say. They're not new in a sense because so many different allegations and shit have happened to, actors, actresses, sports athlete, like every single thing under the sun. There have been some
Shout
form of
out to Sean
allegation.
Watson.
Oh my god.
Dude,
Oh,
he's under some serious fire.
yeah, and then like of course, I think what is it? I think Kobe Bryant had some
Yep.
I think was it Cristiano
There's
Ronaldo? There's a lot of
there's
people.
everyone
Yeah,
pretty
there's
much.
a lot. Basically, if you are a celebrity, there is some form of like, from what I've seen and what people think is like they feel there's this form of entitlement to stuff, which is very bad because
Yeah.
especially if you already grew up in a situation where you're a little bit ahead of everyone else in the country or in the world, you already have that sense of entitlement. Like, my family has this, I can do anything. And then on top of it, now you're a gifted actor, musician, athlete, etc. So now on top of already being entitled and gifted in your life to begin with, you feel even more entitled because now you can do it without your family having to contribute, which is horrible, which is a horrible
Yeah.
mindset. And
Being
you see
entitled
it.
is bad for sure, but I also feel like when you hit that level of success, like hopefully you have never fucked up in life because that's gonna get dug up on you.
Yeah, that's the thing that I have a hard time dealing with cancel culture too, because whether you like it or not, someone's gonna just do something that really either offends you or pisses you off. Like you can't deny you haven't said some heinous shit in your day, whether it was to yourself, to your friends, whatever. Like I'm not gonna deny any of that shit. Like I was not a good teenager and I was a horrible person, but I do not expect anyone to like forgive me for those instances. But just realize like how different I am at 22 years old as opposed to me being 17. Just even that 5-year difference, how
Oh,
much shit can
it's
change.
everything. I feel like my life and even me within the last 6 months is very different.
Exactly. Even a
Like
week.
yeah, I had a week, and honestly, it changed a lot perspectively.
Yeah, because you're just like if cancel culture was around when we were teenagers, bro, I don't know if I would have lived. Like, I don't know if I would have been able to live. I don't even think I would have been able to stream. I probably would have had to like move halfway across the country because like people are going to get offended at any given thing. And granted, things aren't nice. So like some people, they deserve to be canceled. They do stupid shit that deserves the canceling. Now, the extent of what people go through to try and cancel them is sometimes absurd, but it also depends on the type of shit that influencer was doing to deserve the cancel.
I lived a pretty sheltered life, so I think I'm in the clear, but
You know,
well, I don't want people to dig shit on me or anything, but I think I'm good.
I was going to say, I honestly don't think that there's very horrible stuff on like my personal accounts or anything of that nature. But just like the exposure of certain friends or certain people in our area, it's just like you kind of realize like, damn, how could it have been so bad, or like people think to this regard. It's just crazy.
I guess that's why our high school had a fuck ton of fights.
True, a lot of fights, a lot of
I
like,
watched a dude get his teeth knocked out.
true. I was not involved in 3 fights. I missed 3 fights in the same day. And then we actually in our high school just had a defamation case.
Did we?
Yeah,
That's not good.
there was a big racial dispute, and some person filed like a wrongful, like a defamation dispute on like a student. So yeah, it's fucked up. It really is fucked up. But you have to realize like everything now has consequences. So you, even if for some reason you're that person that just can't get rid of the bias in your head, or you can't think any other way because for some reason you think it's twisted, or your family is the right end all be all opinion, just keep that shit to yourself. Just honestly, don't say it. It doesn't
It,
matter.
it's hard. It's hard, with social media. Everyone wants to say everything that's on their
You
mind. I got rid of one of my Twitters. Like I just I can't take it.
Right. Like that to me, I know we want to put our 2 cents in. And that's like, I feel like a part of teenage development now is just being heard, and like that desire to be heard by people. But if that means hurting people to get a rise or get that attention, it's not worth it. It's never
Yeah,
worth it.
no.
And it bites you in the ass. There's so many people, even where we're at, that are already ruined by celebrities
Yeah.
for having those biased opinions, and it really does hurt people. So I'm just so shocked because some people are just unwilling to change, just unwilling, not even to hear insight on a different opinion, or even remotely think about it as like a potential resolve to an issue.
No, people hate change, and I'm a bad example, or I'm a good example actually. I hate change too, but
Well, yeah,
uh
but if it's technically the right thing, and it is the collective for people to find a solution as a means to, for you, even though you don't understand the situation or have never been a part of it, to, sympathize with someone, connect to them on that other level, I think you should at least interpret the information a little bit more, instead of just like, nope, 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 you're wrong. That's not
yeah,
it.
I
There's no
agree. And that's
way.
the thing. No one wants to have a conversation and admit
No,
they're wrong.
exactly. And that's something that, especially getting older as an adult, trying to actually have a discussion or even an argument and have an open mind has been my biggest goal, because I hated this, especially being younger, fighting with someone, even though you knew that if one turn happened, you were going to be wrong 110%. And you were
Yep.
still going to fight them until they either blocked you or they even just proved you more wrong. It's a toxic trait that
I
a
just
lot of
don't
people
like
have.
I just don't like people at the end of the day.
But you have to tolerate them enough, though, man. You have to.
Uh, yeah, I guess. Speaking of shitty people, do you have any like really bad work experiences over the years?
No, I mean, like,
Nothing at all, not even from the gym?
the thing about the gym that is interesting to me is just like, because laws are a specific way, like you can just do whatever you want. You can essentially do whatever you want to certain people, and that's it. But here's me, 20 years old, getting, kind of swindled over, and, just not going to handle it. Like, I'm not going to deal with the bullshit, but I also didn't handle it the way I needed to as a professional or as an adult.
All right. Well, if you
It's
didn't have
crazy.
any bad experiences, have you ever done anything at a job that you feel like you should have been fired for? Because I have.
Um, Honestly, no. I don't think I've really done anything to deserve being fired. It's more so for me, like the downtime issue at a job. Now, depending on what jobs you have, if you are an essential slash like skill set worker, meaning you work in a trade, work as like healthcare, etc., That to me, I feel like there's no such thing as downtime because you're always like making sure certain things are stocked, making sure certain things are like done to protocol to where you have to just lock it in. Now, I'm talking about spraying gym equipment, making sure like appointments are scheduled, all that shit. Now, my biggest issue is downtime. When there's downtime in everything, and I mean every single thing is clean or organized or whatever, I have a hard time finding other stuff to be busy. And that is what I feel like can get me like a big warning or a big like write up or anything. Because if there's nothing to do, I have to physically ask the person in charge, what can I do? Or I'm just sitting there. Like, I don't even have to be on my phone. I'm just sitting there. And they're getting mad at you. And you're like, what do you want me to do, man? And they're always like, find something. It's like,
That's
you want
that's
me
a
to
pretty
clean?
innocent offense
You want me
compared
to
to
clean it
what I used
again?
to
Like, I'll clean the shit again. I'll go through it. You know, people are like that, though. My old boss, before he died, he was that exact way. If you did it and there was still 3 hours, he's like, do it again. I'm like, what? Do it again. Clean this entire area again. If you're that bored, do it again. And it made no sense, but it kept you busy. So,
Fair enough. I think the worst thing I ever did, and you know how depressed I was working at Target. Um, so I worked at Target for like, I don't know, 2 months maybe. I'm
right.
probably highballing it, but I had to unload the trucks in the morning at like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
That was fucking killer. You're supposed to do it with one other person. I always did it alone because that job sucked so bad everyone quit.
Yeah, that's
So
what
I
you were
did,
saying. I remember that.
yeah, I did it alone, and I wanted to speak with a manager after like 2 weeks. I was like, dude, it's not fair. I'm doing this alone.
Exactly.
And I waited for like 30 minutes during my lunch to speak with this manager, and he never showed up. So I did what any sane person would do, and I just during my shift. And then I was like, fuck it, I'm quitting. I'm done here. And then I came in and worked the day after, and no one said anything to me.
Oh my
They didn't even
God.
know I left. I left like 3 hours early.
Wow, dude.
And then
That
another thing I used to do, if like people would walk up to me and be like, "Hey, do you have this in stock?" I'd be like, "Let me go and back. Let me go to the back and look." So what I would do is I'd take a stroll 2 minutes in the opposite direction, not go to the back, and I'd be like, "No, we do not. I'm
now,
sorry."
yeah, I was gonna say that is something that I would definitely see like a manager being like, just fucking, can you sign your name on this slip? Like you just,
Yeah,
you fucked up, kid. I think the 3 hour thing though, like,
I should have been
damn.
fired.
I was gonna say, I feel like that would be like almost instant termination for most
Yeah,
people.
no one said anything to me. I came in the next day, worked for like 2 more weeks, and then I quit.
Dude, so like you unloaded and you were like, this is this bullshit, I'm done.
Yeah, because they said they were gonna get me help, and they never did.
So you finished unloading the truck at least and then you left.
Yeah, I sat in his office for like 20 minutes. He never showed up, and I was like, "All right, cool. I'm going home then." So I did.
Damn. Yeah, I wonder what he was doing, or like if he was just
Not
like,
getting me help.
I was gonna say, I wonder if he was just like, I don't know where he is. He might be doing his job, and then he left.
No, I'm actually waiting to complain about my job.
Dude, that to me, that's crazy. But I also haven't done those types of jobs. I've only done like maintenance and like basic shit.
I belong behind the desk like my current job.
I need to use my brain. I feel like so many people in this modern day are like, yeah, you can make hella money being a carpenter or being a plumber or doing that. Like, bitch, I don't know what to do with my hands. Like, I know you can go to school for it. You can go into all that stuff, apprenticeship. But it's like, I haven't known what to do with my hands for 22 years. What do you think is going to make a huge difference in the next 5?
Dude, the trades aren't for me.
I was gonna say they're definitely not for me either. I'm
No.
I'm a medium brain kind of guy. I'll use my brain to make my hands a little bit better, maybe a little bit more steady, and then use my hands that way.
Yeah, no,
I
I,
just
I
can't do
can't
it.
do trades, especially working the job you currently work and the job I used to work. I feel like 90% of the patients work in trades.
Yeah, it's crazy. But you do make buku bucks, man. Fuck it. You can basically
Yeah.
blow up your legs and have 2 fingers, but you make a lot of money.
Perfect. Yeah,
I'm
I
down
would love
for
to
it.
have a lot of money in 2 fingers. That sounds ideal.
I'm down for that. Like, but the thing is, it eats at you. You're like, what actually makes me happy? It's so weird because my parents, especially my dad, was like, I don't give a shit what you do. You could be a doctor, you could be a fucking bum. But if you're happy and you make like money doing what makes you happy, he's like,
And
I don't care.
that's what's so hard because like I so badly would love to just quit my job and pursue school again,
Yeah.
but like I just can't. Like even though my
No.
mom would be like, "Yeah, I just want you to be happy, like do whatever you want to do." I you just can't, you know? Like you
Right.
have to work.
Right. That's my issue too, especially with going back. If I'm trying to find additional work or whatever, like I have to just my schedule has to be set. If I'm gonna make streaming work, you have to get up at 4 a.m., stream until noon, go to work like 12:30 to whatever, and then if there's school that day, go to school at night or go to school in the afternoon after streaming. Like you have to be able to make it work. But if that's what truly
Yeah.
makes you happy, it's gonna be worth working that extra, I guess, 40 hours of content creation or working that extra 20 hours at that job that you don't necessarily like, if it means you get to have that money to pay for insurance, pay for your bills, pay for gas, do it like put food on the table and still pursue what you like.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's I don't know. There's just a weird limbo there. Like
Mm-hmm.
it sucks because time's against you as you get older.
It
It's
all
you gotta figure it out at some point.
That is something that freaks me out
Scary.
too, because even though we have said it multiple times, we're 22 and we feel like the world's our oyster, like we have so much time. People put it into our brains that like we don't have a lot of time or we don't have this, that, and the other to fuck around with. Like you
Well,
have to
yeah.
within
I
the
feel
next
like
5 years get a job and like
yeah.
just be an adult now.
I
It
feel like just yesterday I was talking to a counselor in high school and they're like, "Yeah, you don't have to know what you want to do. You got time." That was like 6 years ago now.
That's the part that freaks me out, though. That is 100%. Like a high school counselor, like, what do you want to do? And I'm just like, oh, I want to go to physical therapy school. And they're like, that is so awesome. Like they're hyping you up and shit. And then that was like 6 years ago. And you're just like, wait, what? Here I am,
Yeah.
college grad, not really wanting to drown myself in student loan debt to be a physical therapist. But, hey, still got time, right?
But hey, that's awesome, as she would say.
Yeah, she's like, no worries. Not one bit. Not one bit at all.
I almost wish like school counselors were a little more stern. Like if I was like, "Yeah, I don't know what I want to do." I wish they were like, "Okay, well here's some options. Maybe look into them."
You know what
It's
schools should do nowadays?
teach
High school.
helpful things.
They should do that stuff, but they should also advocate kids to go to community college or quite literally take a year off
Yeah, I agree.
after school,
Absolutely.
after college. Tell them work a part-time job, work a full-time job, whether it's like fucking Amazon or McDonald's, work a full-time job after high school for a year. You fucking hate it? Go to community college.
Dude,
You
that's what my brother did and I'm so envious.
what? He just went straight to work?
Yeah, he has his high school diploma, obviously, and he's been working full time for about a year now.
Yeah.
And he just started taking classes at a community college.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. If I knew what I know now, I would have probably taken at least a semester off, figured out what I really wanted, figured out what could have like got me out to the workforce faster to where I could have pursued streaming like even now at the exact same time, but I could have been working. So like I don't know, just figuring out certain programs as opposed to trying to get a degree that just says, hey, you're good enough to go back to school.
You know? Yeah, that's what you spend a lot of money on, sadly.
Yeah, it's like now that thing just sits in my closet and I just feel like a fucking bum because your boy don't have a big boy job.
I got a 2-year degree.
No, and I feel like that 2 year degree is just as valuable as my 4, honestly. Just like the way I've been able to progress, it's been horrible.
I was just talking to my dad about this too. He's like, "Yeah, I mean, I make more money than your stepmom does, and I didn't even go to college, and she graduated with a bachelor's." So it was like, "Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's funny how that works."
Mm-hmm.
It really
Exactly.
is.
No, and then my girlfriend is just like in tip top shape with hers. Like her 4-year degree actually goes to a skill set. She can do 8 million different things with it. She's got opportunities lined up like out the wazoo. And like it's useful. And she's more than likely gonna make a lot more money than me. Especially if like I have something just part time and then I stream full time. She's gonna make hand over fist way more money than me. But I'm happy.
But the possibilities, Adam.
It's there. No, the opportunities are always there, man. People never realize that shit until it's too late.
Yeah, and that's I don't know. I don't want to go into a whole streaming rampage again of topics, but that's the whole thing where like it's, you stream an extra minute and life changes, or you don't, and you have the same day again tomorrow.
Every streamer says that exact same thing though, Frank. I've talked to like 7 people or I've been in 7
Yep.
different chats where some people are like, "Why do you get up every single day and stream from this time to this time?" And they're like, "One, if I don't stream at this time, I lose any opportunity at meeting someone that would be as generous to not only sit here in my chat for the rest of their life, but also contribute, gift subs, cheer bits, allow me to pursue something that I thought was never possible." And it's just like, you're fucking right, man. Like, you're
Yeah.
always right. You don't go live with the intention of like making money. You go live with the intention on building and finding generous people that will make the stream environment so much better for you that it makes it so much worthwhile getting on to no matter how many viewers. Like I told you beforehand, I turn my viewer count off. If you're talking in chat, I'm focused on you.
That's
I
better for your mental.
I very rarely tap to check how many viewers there are in chat, but when I do, the numbers are always going up. So it's just a matter of actually enjoying the people that are there for you, and just having fun with them. I feel like Twitch streamers seem to forget that every single time I look at a new stream. They don't want to take the extra minute to welcome anybody that hops in. They don't want to take the minute to say thank you for a follow, which still blows my mind. And they don't want to take that extra time to just interact. And you need that nowadays. In anything, you need the interaction.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's not just streaming. Like if you can't connect to someone by any means necessary, I don't know what you're going to be able to do to succeed in there.
Oh, this is so off the cuff, but I actually just thought of a topic.
Luce, this is going to be the one podcast that I'm like, I think the title is just going to be Random Thoughts and Monkey Nuts. I don't know. Like it's going to be interesting.
And medium-sized penises.
Exactly.
But anyway, I saw that Black Widow got delayed again.
Yeah.
And it had me thinking, so I saw that HBO Max had struck a deal with a lot of like movie companies, I guess. I don't really know the correct term, where the movies are going to go to the streaming service 45 days after they're at the theater. So they're going to release at the theater, and then in 45 days, they're going to go straight to a streaming service. And I don't know if this is an interesting topic to you, but I love going to the movie theater. And I feel like in like the next year or two, they're going to be gone just entirely.
I don't think movie theaters will shut down, man. I really don't.
You don't think so?
The thing about it, to me, I will always, as long as there is one movie theater in the near location where I'm at, I'm always going to go see a movie.
Dude, I'm the same way. I love going to the movie theater.
A theater will always have my business.
2 hours where I can shut my brain off and chill.
Shut your brain off, actually absorb content, like entertainment, and like just feel like a child. That's the ultimate
love the movie theater.
Ultimate source of like dopamine, like serotonin overload, bro. Like just watching a movie, it to me is just amazing. There's no better feeling than going and sitting in the theater, whether or not the chairs are comfy, whether or not the snacks are shit. Like just going for 2.5 to 3 hours and like just doing nothing else. Beautiful.
I could not agree more. I went to the movies 3 times in the last 2 months already.
Yeah, I haven't been to the movie theater since like last July. But
Did you see Tenet?
Yeah, I saw Tenet. That was the last movie I've seen in theaters. So it's just like, to me, if there is a movie theater, especially after all this bullshit is done, like after all this bullshit is done, if there's a movie theater that is still standing, they will get my business. Hand over fist, they'll always get my business. And I will go to sit and watch a movie because 45 days, yeah, you can watch it. You can watch it at your house 45
It's not
days
the
later.
same.
It's not the same, bro. Could you imagine watching Endgame from your house
Oh,
45
dude,
days after it came out?
I
Seeing,
saw Endgame with you. That was
yeah,
awesome.
that's what I mean. Like, could you imagine watching that at home, seeing Cap wield Mjolnir from your house? Could, like, our minds were blown. The
No,
theater
it's exciting.
erupted. It
Yep.
literally, it was like the epitome of like a wrestling match and a pop. Like Stone Cold Steve Austin is coming out to beat some ass. Like it literally was that environment. As soon as that the hammer hits Cap's hand, the fucking theater just blows up. Everyone's going insane, and you're just smiling the entire time.
That makes
There,
me so happy to think about. I miss that.
seriously, it made me so happy. I literally smiled. I screamed. I looked at you guys. You guys were shitting your pants. I was shitting my pants. It was so fun. Like,
Oh, my
could you
icy was so
imagine?
good too.
Could you imagine though, just seeing that shit at home? Be like, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
It's like it's
That's
so
neat.
lackluster. It's not like it ruins the environment. And I feel like Chris Evans says it really solid too. And I mean this is more so for his like portrayal of Cap to where he's like it's a great honor to be this character because it makes you like showcase what it's like to be a hero or like motivate people to be a hero even though you're not even remotely close to a hero. It's
Yeah.
like this goes to show how much and how well movie theaters portray entertainment and make it to where like you go tell two friends to go see this movie
Yeah.
or
I and
you're
I
going back.
I love spending $7 on a popcorn I never finish.
I really, yeah, the popcorn is so fantastic. I feel like
I don't
if,
care.
yeah, if the movie theater shut down, they would have to at least come out with like the way they do their popcorn there because there's a huge industry in that. I feel like movie theaters are still just way too solid. Even if they're just standalone movie theaters across the entire nation, I feel like they're super, super like business positive to where they can never, I don't think they will ever go extinct.
I think I'll start saving my money, and in case they all do go under, I'll open my own.
Just have a hand crank like a projector where you crank it yourself. So they're like
Yeah.
it slows down and they're like, what the fuck's happening? And you're just like, shut the fuck up.
My arm's tired, bitch.
No, it's
Be
just
happy the
crazy.
theater's open.
It's just crazy to me that like people would rather just wait 45 days to save an extra 15 bucks as opposed to having a pretty solid theater experience depending on what you see and depending on like the release. As you would just rather sit at home and not have an experience like that. If you're just like a casual movie watcher, yeah, that's fine. Go fuck it. Waste your time, all that stuff. But for me, if it's a Marvel movie, if it's Star Wars movie, it's something different.
Do you to kind of wrap up that topic, do you have like a favorite movie you've seen in theater?
No, I would say the last handful of years has mostly just been like Marvel struck and, you know, Tenet and anything kind of like that. I've
I
really enjoyed I think if I had to pick the best one in terms of like Marvel, Logan is my favorite Marvel movie that
Logan's
they've.
dope. I didn't see that in theater, sadly.
It was super good. And at that point in my life, that was when I was starting to come to with like certain ideologies of like transcendentalism and just developing my own artistic nature to where I thought Logan was a brilliant Marvel movie. I thought Guardians of the Galaxy 2, like that to me was fucking incredible. The soundtrack was amazing. Like I thought that was brilliant. There was just so many different things at the time that I just really enjoyed, but definitely don't have something favorite in my mind because nothing has been truly like revolutionary to that regard.
I wouldn't say it was revolutionary, but I think the last time I like sat in the theater and like I went with my girlfriend to see this and like I didn't even look at her the whole time because I was just so enthralled with the movie was Joker.
Dude, actually, now that you fucking say that, bro, fuck. I feel like that's one of my favorites. The
I
fact that
sat there with my eyes glued the entire time. That movie was enthralling.
because Joaquin Phoenix does something so incredible because you're thinking like this dude's gonna try and outdo Jared Leto and try and compete with Heath Ledger,
Didn't try very hard,
and
but
it's not that at all. He
mm-mm.
doesn't even remotely come close to trying to be a Heath Ledger Joker. He doesn't even
Nope.
like come close to being
Totally his
Jared
own
Leto.
thing.
His own Joker, phenomenal. The whole story for me, I loved it. I think that if you had to give me a favorite movie, I think that would be my favorite movie now that you said it, because that goes to show you, even in that situation, the Joker is supposed to be a villain, supposed to raise
Yep.
all this hell and chaos to
You
Gotham.
feel bad for him.
You feel bad for the Joker. You
It's
just
crazy.
you justify everything he does in your head throughout the entire movie, and you think the Wayne family are pieces of dog shit at the same time. Like
Yeah.
you
Well, they kind of
justify
are.
it. I mean, yes, but like it shows you that how strong a movie is made and how it's written and everything, the art to it can twist your mind.
Absolutely.
I love it, man. I'm super excited. I'm going to be excited because they say with COVID that it might not truthfully be over until like 2024, but the hypothesis behind it is that after this 3-year window, regardless or not if like the infection is more widespread or more strains come out, there's going to be supposedly a roaring 20s effect that happened in the 1920s in the 2020s. I think that'll be cool.
Fantastic. Can't wait.
Yeah, and people are gonna be like enjoying stuff. Entertainment's gonna go through the roof.
That makes sense.
It's gonna be insane. Like it's gonna be this euphoric like change and this upbringing to where like I think it'll be good for everyone involved. Cause I mean everyone fancies the Roaring Twenties
Yeah, that's
as
true.
like a classic, a vintage time in like American history.
I could
So
use a pick me up, so I'm down.
I was gonna say I could use some of that shit because that would make me more happy to like pursue entertaining in terms of like streaming and all that good stuff. Especially if it's supposed to be like refreshing and euphoric, like I said.
Um, do you want to wrap with cool or uncool? Because I have one, and I think it's a good one.
All right, let's hear what your cool or uncool is. For anybody that is, potentially watching this for the first time, we have always finished with what is cool and what is uncool. The topics, just like how random they
In
could be.
our opinions,
Yes,
though.
like tonight, how random they can be. It's always just gonna be random stuff, whether it's gaming, whether it's like clothing, types of like shit to wear. I don't know, anything under the
What
sun,
you
cool or uncool.
wipe your ass with, anything.
Yeah,
The one I have is watching cartoons.
cool. I think that's fine because a lot of people don't understand. Like anime is basically adult version of cartoons for people. It
Yeah.
has a bigger plot, a bigger meaning, and is actually considered art. But I could truthfully watch Gravity Falls over and over again for the rest of my life. I think that show is super awesome. I feel like people don't understand that cartoons, especially depending on what types, like if you're watching Nick Jr. cartoons, yes, like that might be creepy because it's just like, what shape goes in this hole? A fucking square. Like, you get it.
Just
But
testing your mind at that
right,
point.
right. Like I'm not watching Dora at 22 years old. I'm watching like Gravity Falls, things that have some form of like meanings and themes and all these types of like literature pieces involved in them.
There's
So,
there's two shows I can think of. Like if you put me down in front of a TV, I could watch a couple seasons like nonstop, I think. And those are SpongeBob and Regular Show.
okay, regular show I never really watched, but a lot of people that I was friends with at the time, they loved it. They thought it was cool, and on
It's
top
a
of it,
great show.
had really good influential characters, like especially for music. Tyler the Creator loved that show. I forgot who else. There's a bunch of musicians though that were on there, and it was pretty
Regular
cool.
Show is great. I could sit down right now and I think I could binge, like, I don't even know how many seasons there are, but I'm pretty sure I could watch the whole thing through right now.
Right. I mean, I think they're cool, whether or not it's like a cartoon or anime. I think it's cool. Granted, cartoons are a lot easier to get through than anime because anime, there are hundreds upon thousands of episodes to grind through.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, my favorite cartoon of all time will always be Avatar: The Last Airbender. There is not one cartoon to me that will beat that show. Dave Filoni and those guys at that time, incredible. Making my 7-year-old ass go ballistic when Zuko's fighting his sister. Unreal.
I've never seen that show, to be honest with
It
you.
is so, dude. It's on. I believe it's still on Netflix until they put it on Paramount, I think. But you have to watch that shit, bro. It is insanely genius.
I'll give it a whirl.
I think it's genius, man. Like that, especially at that point, like it shows kids true common like themes, hardships, people going through shit, and it's like, of course, elements, so fire, water, earth, air, like just going through the struggles with war. It's crazy how much real shit they brought into that show. I loved it.
I'll give it a check. Seems like we're in agreement on cool.
Yeah, I definitely think it's cool. I definitely do think it's cool.
Easy. You got a topic?
Unfortunately, I don't. I am all pooped out with cool or uncool this week.
That's all right.
With our little break, we need to make sure we get some more of those. I gotta be on my A game for next time.
No, it's all good. The break was my fault. In the
No,
comments, go ahead and shit on me.
No, it's not Frank's fault. I also liked a little break too, but I'm glad we're able to get back to it. I'm glad that this episode was more so kind of like loose topics and wasn't really like gaming oriented. We started off with gaming and then kind of just branched out to whatever.
Yeah, I like when it fizzles into whatever it happens.
I do like that too. But I like to make sure we do get some gaming stuff because I take great pride in making this more of like a gaming content creation, streaming, sort of like streamer showcase podcast as well. So we'll probably do another episode or two. We're looking to get more guests on here. I have my sights on a few guests in the future.
Yeah, we gotta get Spencer.
Yeah, we're trying to get Spencer, and then we got a few other people, but a few of them I think are overseas, so I might be able to do those on my own if it requires us to get up at like, I don't know, 2 a.m. If it's
a weekend, I'll do it.
Right. So it's just we're trying to figure out guests and making sure this stuff is good for you guys because we really enjoy doing it. We want to make sure that we keep consistency. We just need to make sure we didn't get super burnt out right away. And I think it's been good. I hopefully you guys are enjoying it. I know I am. I'm pretty sure Frank is too.
Right there with you,
All right,
sir.
good. I'm glad that we're in agreement. So, if you guys liked the podcast today, be sure to throw a like on not only my video but Frank's video. And if you haven't yet, please consider subbing to both of our channels because ultimately we want to build our own accounts up on YouTube, especially with how hard it is to grow on YouTube. And then the second we're able to grow ourselves up a little bit, we would love to re-upload these on a Platinum Code channel. And I think it would allow the podcast to grow a little bit better doing it from both of our individual pages as opposed to starting from scratch because I'm doing what I can on my end streaming wise, whether it's part-time or full-time, to be able to bring new viewers, new people, new community members to the Platinum Code podcast. So if you guys like it, be sure to not only like my video, but Frank's video as well. Go sub to our accounts and
Get
maybe
Adam
be on the lookout.
200.
Yeah, get me close to 200 subs. But yeah, if you guys like it, like I said, be on the lookout. Might be on Spotify soon. I don't know though. We'll see.
Yeah, we gotta work on that.
We'll work on it. But until next time, boys, appreciate y'all being here with us. And until next time.